All right, good. All right, so functional analysis, round one. Heavily assessed tomorrow, might even be the free response question tomorrow.
Oh. Say what?
I'm just saying, play the video back, you'll see it later. Okay, using your notes, using the brain of somebody else in the room, plus of course your own Smarticle particles, I want you to get started on this question. This is homework question number 2 on the bottom of page 17. My expectation is that you are able to successfully complete parts A through D in the next 7 minutes. You've got your notes, you've got one another. Make it happen, Captain.
I need it later with F of 0 being prime.
Yeah, question
2. Justify.
Yeah, it has to be.
F is increasing when?
I think, yeah.
Justify your answer.
Oh, I thought you were going to give my boy Jesus a high five, and then I want it one point.
Oh, you want to have
It's the fun.
okay. F of it
I'll say
will be
yeah, we're saying you were saying and then 1 A 4 1 and then the little U will have.
when F of prime
You replaced the egg.
Oh, yeah. Aggie might add me. He left.
Yes, honey.
Parks.
I was there.
Never mind this.
Wait, where's your arch?
I think.
Oh, I asked it.
Oh, you get my quiz.
I just wrote prominent, and I'm like, and then like I was like, wait, hold up, and I was like at the bottom.
Axel, we've got notes. I'm going to give credit to that. Okay.
No, like I was like this.
Okay, keep coming.
Yeah.
Find the X coordinate.
Alright, Daisy, I see notes. Okay,
Each
notes.
point at which the graph of F would have a horizontal tangent.
Wait, I just gave credit to
Each of these points determine whether F has a relative magnitude or 90.
Okay. That's yours? Did you write extra limit questions in pencil at the bottom, maybe? This is okay, she looked at the thing. Did the thing. Extra limit question at the bottom.
What horizontal tangent line is 1 day?
Karina.
The horizontal tangent line goes like this.
Right.
There's a horizontal tangent line at 2.
F of it was
Oh, yeah.
negative 4 to 1. Negative 4 to 6.
Yeah, and 3 to 5.
Okay, do you have the R chart? First two ones absolutely wide.
Okay, it's from negative 4 to 5 and 3 to
Okay, there's a horizontal tangent.
I mean negative 4 to 1 and 3 to 5.
How do you write it like that?
Yeah, because it's open
It
ended.
has to be equal to 0. Is it a horizontal tangent line just
And then you have square that you write.
and then just a
Yeah.
regular math?
And
Whoa.
Like,
you
so
could say and over.
No, I'm not working on the first one. It's only raised.
It's like, I know this is F prime, but
Got
like,
excited about it, like,
it's
you're like, do it again, do it
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And again.
For her it's a
Wait, so prime, F is increasing from -4 to 1. No, -4
So it has the
to
max
1 and then wait, why is it underlined?
don't underline, it's an open interval. No, but it's an open interval.
Oh no, that wasn't my answer. No.
Oh, it's an open interval.
But it's actually
Wait, what I mean. So then
we have to justify it too.
F increases from 12
And F prime is greater than 0.
find the x coordinate of each coordinate which the graph x will have a horizontal tangent for each. Okay, f will have a f of prime equal to 0.
So wait, where's the horizontal tangent line? Right here you're decreasing, there you go f of x. Right here you have f.
That's just some practice from yesterday. Adrian.
It's both horizontal and
She says
Horizontal tangent line is the one that's gonna get that part.
This needs to come with you every day.
F of prime is a relative maximum. It goes from decrease. No, increasing to decrease. I put F will have a horizontal tangent line when F equals 0. F prime equals 0. So F has a relative max when it changes, when F prime changes to.
I thought so.
Government castle over here.
Yeah.
System that has never let me down.
Get it?
from positive to wait, what is it?
No.
Isn't it when F
Yeah, it's
prime-
increasing to decreasing.
No, isn't it positive to negative? Yeah.
No. It's increasing to decreasing.
All right, friends.
Yeah, positive to negative.
Okay. And okay, looks like some people made it through A and B, some people have made it through A, B, and C. Doesn't look like many people have made it through D. I get it, that's fine.
And this is prime. This is not double prime.
Okay, Jose.
Sorry.
All right, so I'm just gonna share my solutions for A, B, C, and D, and you can figure out how did you do. And then E, F, and G are much harder questions. Completely fair game for tomorrow's progress monitor test or any AP exam that is coming, in like 20 days. 20 days! I can do anything for 20 days. Okay, so here we go. Part A. Well, let's make sure that you know you're looking at the graph of F prime, right? And I heard that from Jose and other people. F prime, F prime, F prime. College Board always tricks you up on this. Okay. You have to always connect whatever the question is to the graph that you see. If F is increasing, that means F prime is positive. As soon as you write that, give yourself a point. Okay? Now, when is F prime positive, or as I know Sylvia would continue saying, where is F prime above the x-axis? Well, I'm interested on the interval from -4 to +5. I'm going to be above the x-axis starting at -4 all the way until I get to 1. And then from 3 to 5. Okay? And actually, I want to tighten this up a little bit because I would say you can have brackets on the -4 and brackets on the 5, and that would be okay as well. 1 point for the justification, 1 point for the intervals, 2 points total. Sheila?
What if you wrote those numbers but like in a different way?
What do you mean?
Like
Did you use the inequality notation?
Yeah.
That's fine. I thought you meant like in a different order. That would be bad. Karina?
For the equalities, since it's an open interval, it doesn't have to have the line in the bottom?
Correct. If you're doing inequalities, it would just be the less than sign. Okay, B, find the x-coordinate at each point where the graph will have a horizontal tangent line. Well, horizontal tangent lines mean that your derivative is equal to 0. First point. Where's the derivative equal to 0? That happens at x equals 1, and it happens at x equals 3. Now tell me what happens at x equals 1. At x equals 1, f prime changes from positive to negative, which means you have a relative maximum. At x equals 3, f prime changes from negative to positive, so you have a relative minimum. 1 point for identifying that f prime of x is equal to 0. 1 point for x equals 1 in the justification. 1 point for relative min at x equals 3 in the justification. You should be up to about 5 points now. I would think these are high scoring for everybody in the room. Good. Okay, part C. Now the question is, find the x-coordinate for each point of inflection. Points of inflection, that means that f prime makes a change from increasing to decreasing, or that f prime makes a change from decreasing to increasing. That happens at x equals negative 2 and x equals 2. 1 point for each of those if you have the right justification. And part D, if you made it to part D, identify all intervals on which big F, the antiderivative, is concave down. And here's where you got to be careful. We know about little f and little f prime, but now we've got big F, the antiderivative. If your antiderivative is, what do they ask for? Concave down?
Yes.
Antiderivative concave down. If big F is concave down, what's true about little f? Big F is concave down. Little f is decreasing. But that still isn't a graph that I see. I have to go to f prime. F prime has to be negative. So big F concave down means f prime is negative. 1 point for that. And that happens on the interval 1 to 3. That's 2 points. So just give me a quick count up. How many points did you just earn out of the 9? Show me on your fingers. Hopefully this involves 2 hands, although it was funny, Rubio just said 6 and did this. Okay, Paul's giving himself credit for 10 points. Oh, 9 points. Okay, you just have really long fingers. It was hard to count for me. Okay, 7, 7, 7, 6, 5. That's 5.5. 5 and a pinky is 5.5. Pick a taller finger. Be proud of that point number 6. Okay, you've got a long pinky. Okay, good for nose picking. 7. Good, 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 good. All right, so we are at about where I wanted us to be. And we're going to regroup. Those of you that feel really good about this question and you're like, I'm ready to see how hard this can get, E, F, and G, I want you to move to the back and work on your own. Those of you that want to work through E, F, and G with me, I want you to come up to the front and I'll just know who those folks are. So who are the folks that are going to work with me on E, F, and G? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10. And everybody in the back is just going solo? How convenient. It's like I'm a ninja and I group you in the right way. All right, folks in the back, just keep going. The goal is to finish E, F, and G. We've only got 13 minutes. Folks in the front, we're going to go over E, F, and G just step by step by step. Okay. Yep.
I thought you couldn't take the derivative of cosine. So for C, how come 2 is an answer choice?
Okay, because, okay, why is 2 an answer choice? We're looking for a point of inflection of little f. That means f prime changes from increasing to decreasing. Or decreasing to increasing. That's all I care about is where does my graph change increasing to decreasing or change decreasing to increasing. If I asked you for the derivative of this graph, then you'd say, oh, there's a cusp point here, the derivative will exist there. Okay? All right, friends in the front, E, F, and G, here we go. Sorry that you just need to use another piece of paper. Hey, Zeus, I need to be on that board. All right. E. Find an equation for the line tangent to the graph of f at x equals 0. Tangent line to f at x equals 0. Using your tangent line, estimate the value at x equals 0.3. Determine overestimate or underestimate. Estimate f of 0.3. Under or over? for the folks that are up front, I hope you're like, man, we've done this a lot, and this is the one you're just gonna nail it. Just gonna nail it. So take a couple of seconds, see what you can do. And we'll talk about this. Alright, I want the equation for the tangent line to f at x equals 0. Most of you guys seem to be moving in the right direction. You need a point. And you need a slope. Do we know either one?
Yes, the slope is the point 0.05.
The slope is 1.
In the very beginning, they told us f of 0 is equal to 5. Sometimes, especially in these problems, they bury something in the beginning. F of 0 is equal to 5, which means that that's the point 0, 5. F prime of 0, Sheila, how are you going to figure that out?
You look at the graph.
Right. The slope is f prime of 0. You're going to look at the graph. I go over to the graph. What's f prime of 0? 1. Because this is the graph of f prime, all I need to do is say x is equal to 0. What's the y value? The y value is 1. Diego, based on this, do you feel pretty good giving me the equation of the tangent line? Okay, what's it going to be? Oh! L of x, okay. Why not f of x?
Because that's a graph.
That's the other one with red.
That name's already used. F is already used. F prime is already used. Go with something else. L of x. Okay, Diego, help me. 1.
Find the parentheses x minus 0 plus 5.
Okay, love it. Locked in a point. Depending on the problem, maybe they give you a point for this work over here, but I'm not really sure. Michelle, how do you feel about the next part?
So L and then the parentheses instead of x you put 0.3.
Now I want to be careful. What are you putting over here though? What's equal? Because I heard you say L. I want to be careful about this.
F.3.
What you want is an estimate for f of 0.3. So it's your estimate for 0.3. You're going to say, my estimate is going to be approximately what you said, 1 times 0.3 minus 0 plus 5. Now what's that equal to?
We don't have to solve for it.
Who cares? Yes, it's 5.3, and anyone who has made it to AP Calculus better be able to figure out 5.3, but nobody cares. Nobody cares, so stop there. Now here it comes. Go overestimate or underestimate?
That's so hard. It depends on the tangent line.
Love it.
Yeah.
Overestimate, underestimate. Yes, those are your options.
That's really the tangent.
The way, hold on, Karina. The way that you are going to decide is to talk to me about concavity. Jackie, what do you got?
Since f prime is above the x-axis, then it's an overestimate because f
Concave down.
Okay, let me say it one more time. You need to talk to me about concavity of f. Concavity of f. Henry, what do you know about the concavity of f?
Since f prime is decreasing, that means that f has to be concave down.
Okay, and apparently you really ticked off Jose in the process. Is that exactly what you were going to say? I want to know about the concavity of f. I don't see f. I don't know about f. I only see f prime. What's f prime doing?
Decreasing.
Decreasing, but here's where you got to be really careful. You have to tell me on an interval. So from blank to blank, and you have to pick the right places.
From -2 to 1.
From 0 to 1?
Now, where are we decreasing? You're decreasing from -2 all the way down to +2. That's important. That would be true. You could get away with this. What's important is you have to include x equals 0, because that's where your tangent point of tangency is, and 0.3 because that's what you're estimating. Any interval containing those points is good. So if you want to say from x equals 0 to 0.3, f prime is decreasing, is that true?
Yes.
Yes. So what does that mean about f?
It's concave.
F is concave down. F is concave down, Rubio. What do you know about those tangent lines?
Oh, it's an over. No.
Under because of the tangent lines.
Concave down.
It's over.
Overestimate. Even in my old man brain, and I've been teaching calculus for EVs, I went to school with Newton and all that, right? F is concave down, your tangent lines are above. Draw a concave down, you'll never miss it. Concave down, tangent lines are above. Okay, so your final answer?
Overestimate.
Over.
Are above, which means overestimate. I would put a little star next to this. A little star, whatever that means. Now, what if Jackie says, you know what? I'm not going to say from 0 to 0.3, I'm going to say from -2 to 2.
Thank you.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Karina, why is that okay?
Because x equals, well, the point 0.3 is inside there.
The 0 and the 0.3 are in that interval. And it's true that f prime is decreasing the whole way, so that's good. As long as the interval you talk about contains your point of tangency and the point that you're estimating, it's all good. Okay? And this is the part that is always really hard for calculus students to earn because there's just so much. If you write that, you lock it in. Julissa.
Would it just be 1 point?
Probably 1 point for coming up with the equation of the tangent line, 1 point for the estimate, 1 little point for the justification. The College Board is kind, and I think it's because they know teenagers stink at this justification. Okay, but we've done it like 14 times. All right, part F, let k of x equal cosine of x times e to the f of x. Write an equation for the line tangent to the graph of k and x equals 0. I'm going to do a lap through the room and...
Wait, K? Or F, right?
Wouldn't it just be okay, so you just plug in on the point and then find the derivative.
You find the
Derivative to find the slope.
and plug in 0. So point.
Wait, don't they still want to do that?
All right.
Because that's asking for it.
K of x is cosine of x times e to the f of x. Equation of the tangent line. Oh, goody. Point.
Is
Low.
1 times e to the 5.
One of these should be easier to find than the other one. Finding the point should be easier?
Yeah.
Okay, if x is equal to 0, what is k of 0? Cosine of 0 times e to the f of 0. Everywhere there's an x, you're just replacing x with 0. Okay, can we stop?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Point, because you need a point.
Yeah, you need
If
a
everything is a number, you can stop.
Yeah.
Is every single thing here a number?
Yes.
No, the
Yeah.
F
Yeah, the 0 is 5.
F of 0 is not a number yet. F of 0 is 5. Now you can and should stop. Especially when it comes to trig. That is our collective Achilles heel. If you know that cosine of 0 is 1, fabulous. You get 1 times e to the 5th. your point is 0 comma e to the 5th power. I need the slope. Daisy, where's that slope coming from? Where would the slope of that tangent line come from?
Prime again?
You're going to find k prime.
I think that's right.
Right, the slope is always derivative information. So k prime of x, I have to find the derivative of cosine of x times e to the f of x. Julissa, how are we going to find the derivative here? Product rule, I completely agree with you, product rule.
Yeah, I think I have
So we take the derivative of the first, the derivative of the first is negative sine of x. Leave the second one alone, plus leave the first one alone, times the derivative of the second.
Times e to the f of x.
E to the f of x
Times f of x.
Times f prime of x.
times f prime of x. This is probably a 2-point derivative. For the folks that are working on their own in the back, how'd that derivative go? We're good with that derivative? Okay. Good, so now you need k prime of 0, we're running out of time. Negative sine of 0, e to the f of 0, cosine of 0, e to the f of 0 times f prime of 0. And f of 0 we know is 5. This guy is 5, f prime of 0 is 1. Everything there's a number, that's your slope. And you're just going to write now L of x is your big ugly slope number times x minus 0 plus e to the 5th. Now I realize I did not get a chance to get around to everybody and do the participation check. Everybody can put a check plus there. Do not fake my initials, just put a check plus. Wednesdays are going to be tough for me. Yep.